Hi Year 2 children, it's Mr Yeardsley back at school this week. I've got our book Isadora Moon Goes to School that we've been reading by Harriet Muncaster. And if you remember, we got part way through chapter 2 because my YouTube time had nearly timed out. She tried fairy school, wasn't quite to her taste, and I think Dad was quite pleased because she wanted to give vampire school a go. So we went home and we had breakfast with Dad. I think I'm repeating myself a bit, but it's always worthwhile going over it again. He was very pleased to hear that I was a vampire. I did think so all along, he said, as he slurped down his red juice. After breakfast, it was bedtime. I was so tired after my day at fairy school that I didn't even remember to brush my teeth. I just snuggled down with Pink Rabbit under our starry quilt and fell straight asleep. When I woke up, it was morning and the sun was streaming through my turret window. "Come on, Pink Rabbit," I said, poking him out of bed. "It's vampire school tonight." Oh yeah, remember vampires go to school at night time. I got dressed and then we whizzed down the banister to the kitchen. Dad was just coming in from his nighttime fly. He was yawning and looking tired. Mum was busy picking apples off the tree in the kitchen. She was turning them into glasses of apple juice with her wand. I sat down at the table and started to butter my toast. "Are you looking forward to vampire school tonight?" asked Dad hopefully. "Oh yes," I said. "I think I'm going to like vampire school." Dad looked pleased. He yawned and looked at the clock on the wall. "Well then, you'd better get back to bed after breakfast," he said. "You must sleep all through the day so as you're nice and fresh for the evening, just like I do." I stared at him. "But I just got out of bed," I said in astonishment. "I'm not tired." "Well, you will be tired at school if you don't sleep today," said Dad. "Come on, finish up your toast and go up to bed." So I finished my toast, but very slowly. Then I walked up the stairs to my turret, very slowly. And then I got back into my pyjamas, very slowly. And then I sat in my bed with Pink Rabbit and stared at the sun coming through the window. How on earth was I supposed to get to sleep now? It was a very bright day and the birds were tweeting loudly outside. There she is. Can't get to sleep during the daytime. The children were being noisy too, on their way to school. After a few minutes, I got up and tried to block out the light with my quilt, but it didn't really work. "Mum!" I shouted down the stairs. Mum came hurrying up. "What's the matter?" she said. "It's too light," I complained. Mum magicked a dark pair of curtains across my window. "It's too loud," I said. "I can hear the birds." Mum magicked me a pair of earplugs. "I'm thirsty," I said. Mum went and fetched me a glass of apple juice. "I think I need the bathroom." "Well, you'd better go then," sighed Mum. By the time it was evening, I'd not slept a wink, but I had drunk 13 glasses of apple juice and been to the bathroom too many times to count. I suddenly felt very tired. I could hardly keep my eyes open, nor could Pink Rabbit. "We're very sleepy," I told Dad. "Maybe we should just go to bed." "Nonsense," said Dad. "You've been asleep all day. Once you see how exciting vampire school is, you won't want to go to bed." They are getting ready for school. Chapter 3. Vampire School. Teacher, Countess Darkfang. She likes twirly handwriting, black bats and slicked back shiny hair. 10 p.m, lesson 1, flying in formation. 11:30 p.m, break time, red juice. 1 a.m, lesson 2, bat training. 3 a.m, lunchtime, tomato soup with tomato sandwiches and beetroot crisps. 4:30 a.m, lesson 3, grooming. 7 a.m, home time. Vampire School was also on a hill, but it was not covered with flowers and it was not built in the shape of a pink cupcake. It was a tall black castle with bats flying around its spires and turrets. Thunder and lightning cracked through the sky behind it. Pink Rabbit shivered, so I held his paw tight. I could tell he was a bit frightened. He doesn't like thunderstorms. "Isn't it wonderful?" said Dad. Then he opened his black cloak and flew away into the sky, whooping with delight. Fancy our school being like that? My teacher was called Countess Darkfang. She was very tall with spiky red nails. "Good evening, class," she said. "Tonight we are going to learn how to fly like proper vampires. We're going to swoosh and glide and whiz across the moon. We're going to make some nice neat formation shapes in the sky. We will start with an arrow shape, a nice spiky arrow." Oh goody, I thought. I knew how to fly already, and also I had something the other vampire children did not: wings. This would be easy. "Follow me," said Countess Darkfang. She lifted out her cloak and shot into the air with lightning speed. One by one, the other vampires followed. Swoosh, glide, whiz. Then it was my turn. But as I rose into the air, I realised I wasn't swooshing or gliding or whizzing. I was flapping. Falling behind as well a bit. Not very much in an arrow formation. Flap, flap, flap went my wings, and they didn't go nearly as fast as the others. They acted more like fairy wings. How had I not noticed before? "Come on, Isadora," shouted Countess Darkfang. "You're getting left behind." I flapped my wings harder, trying to keep up. I could see all the other little children vampires far ahead of me, all circling round the big, bright moon. "Arrow!" screeched Countess Darkfang. All the other vampires arranged themselves into the shape of an arrow, leaving a space on the end for me. "Come on, Isadora," they all called. I flapped as hard as I could, and I eventually reached the space at the end of the arrow shape. I was just getting my breath back when Countess Darkfang said, "Now zoom!" Suddenly, the arrow formation shot forwards, and I was left alone again in the middle of the sky. This was exhausting. "Wait!" I cried, flapping my wings as hard as I could. "Wait for me!" "Stop, everyone!" shrieked Countess Darkfang suddenly. "We must wait for Isadora." The others immediately came to a stop in the sky, still in their perfect arrow formation. Not a hair was out of place on their shiny heads. I continued to flap along, but I wasn't used to flying this fast. Now I couldn't stop. I crashed right into the vampire at the back of the arrow, my wings tangling in his cape so that we rolled into a ball and began to plummet towards the ground. "Help!" I cried as we spun round and round and round, stars rushing past our eyes. "Emergency!" screeched Countess Darkfang. She gathered her cape and she shot down towards us. Luckily, vampires are very fast flyers. She grabbed onto my dress just before we hit the ground. "That was close," she said, as she set us both upright on the ground. "I think that's enough flying for now." Pink Rabbit wiped his paw across his forehead in relief. "Phew! I'm not sure flying is your greatest talent, Isadora," said Countess Darkfang. I hung my head. Maybe I was more fairy than vampire. After the flying lesson, it was time for a snack. Countess Darkfang gave out cartons of red juice to everyone. "Yum!" said all the little vampires. "Yuck!" I said. "It's tomato juice." "Of course it is," said Countess Darkfang. "That's what we vampires like to drink. Delicious!" I looked at Pink Rabbit, and Pink Rabbit looked at me. "I think," I whispered, "that maybe I'm not a vampire at all." Then I yawned, a big yawn. I was so tired. "Now," said Countess Darkfang, "it's time for the bat training lesson. Follow me." She led us along a dark, windy corridor to a big room where there were hundreds, maybe thousands of bats in cages. Poor bats. "Bats make wonderful vampire pets," said Countess Darkfang. "They're especially useful for delivering post." She gestured around her at the bats flapping in their cages. "You may all choose one to be your own special pet," she said. I looked round the room. I suddenly felt excited. I love bats. We have 27 of them in our attic. I liked the idea of having my own special one as a pet. I peered into the cages. There were big bats and small bats, scrawny bats and sleek bats. Which one should I choose? In the end, I decided on a medium-sized one with silky fur and beady black eyes. "I will call him Buttons," I said to Pink Rabbit. "Don't you think that's nice?" But for some reason, Pink Rabbit did not look very happy. "Now," said Countess Darkfang, "the first rule of bat training is to never let your bat out of its cage outside or when the window is open, otherwise it might fly away." Everyone looked round the room to check that the turret windows were closed. "Of course," continued Countess Darkfang, "once your bat is fully trained like mine, it will never fly away." She smiled smugly and stroked her own pet bat, who was very large, with fur as black as midnight. "You may let your bats out now," she said. I opened the door of the little cage and Buttons flew out into the air. "Good," said Countess Darkfang. "Let's begin. The first thing we are going to teach our bat is how to do a somersault in the air." She pointed at her own bat and swizzled her finger at it. Immediately, the bat turned a perfect somersault. "Now you try it," she said to the class. I pointed my finger at Buttons and made a circular motion. Buttons turned upside down in the air. "Almost," I said excitedly. "Pink Rabbit, did you see that?" But Pink Rabbit didn't hear me. He was busy turning perfect somersaults on the floor. There he is, turning his somersaults. It's at the bottom of the page there. "The second thing we are going to do," said Countess Darkfang, "is teach our pet to sit nicely on our shoulder." She clicked her fingers and her bat immediately flew down onto her left shoulder. I clicked my fingers at Buttons, but before he had a chance to do anything, Pink Rabbit came leaping through the air and landed on my shoulder with a thump. "Hey," I said, "Pink Rabbit, you've got to get down." But Pink Rabbit did not want to get down. He held onto my neck with his pink paws and dug his soft feet firmly into my collarbone. "Really," I said, "you do, or we'll get into trouble." I picked him off me and set him on the floor. There he is, on his shoulder. I turned my attention back to Buttons and clicked my fingers at him again. "Come on," I urged him, but Buttons didn't seem very interested in coming to sit on my shoulder. He was suddenly fascinated with something over the other side of the room. What was it? I turned to see and then gasped. The turret window. It was swinging wide open. "Oh no," I thought, as the air suddenly became full of the sound of flapping wings. All the pet bats, including Buttons, started to dash towards the open window. Whoosh, they went. Flap, swish. "Ah, freedom! Ah!" screeched Countess Darkfang. "Who has opened the window?" She lifted her cape and leapt across the room to close it. I think we're going to have to finish there, guys. Part way through chapter 3, just as the bats went out of the window. Let's try and remember that. I wonder how on earth they're going to manage to get them back. Doesn't sound as though she's fitting in very well at Vampire School or Fairy School. I wonder what she's going to have to do. Let's find out next time. Guys, remember our school motto: if you see someone without a smile, give them one of yours. Keep smiling. I'll see you soon.